Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be creating this kind of smoky-ish eye look using the W7 Delicious palette, and this is a total dupe for the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. So we're going to be creating this eye look with it, and I don't have anything else to say. This is the only new thing we're trying. So anyways, let's get into the video. Alright, so I've already got my brows and primer on. This is the palette we're working with today. And if you open it, look at the shades inside and just tell me for a second what that reminds you of. So this is basically like a shade for shade dupe of, what was it? Oh, the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. So this was only, I want to say like $6 or $7, so it's way cheaper, but we're gonna see how well it performs. So I think I'm gonna take the shade right here. There's no names for the shades, so I'm gonna take this one right here. It's kind of like a dusty purple. Apply that to the eye. It's weird because this is coming off like kind of tan. That color's down. I really want to dip into the shade underneath it. I'm going to use a Bedellium Tools 785. I can tell it's adding something, but it's like not really the colors that showed up in the pan. So I'm going to use a 235 contour shader from Zoeva, their Rose Golden collection. And I'm going to go back into the palette. And I think I'm going to use this dark brown that I accidentally hit with my nail. I'm just going to put that in the outer corner. So I'm just using this fluffy brush with no additional product to just kind of swipe that through the crease and still not lose the other colors. It looks pretty well blended. I mean, on camera it always looks shittier, but whatever. So I'm kind of disappointed that there's no like lighter berry shimmer, because yeah, this one is the only one you get, this top one, and it's not very shimmery and it's really dark, but I think I can use it anyways because the rest of the eye look came out kind of dark, which is weird because I used the rosy tones. I guess I didn't use these two, but I didn't want to, so I'm just gonna go in with this shimmer shade. That's what it looks like swatched. Here's what it looks like when you really swatch it. So I'm just gonna go in with that. It totally felt like there was something like in my shirt. It's creepy. Alright, so I think that's about it for eyeshadow. That's about as pigmented as I can make it. So I am going to do some liner and lashes, and then I will be right back. So my liner and lashes are on now. God, I wish every pair of lash was as easy to put on as these. These are the Ardell 113 Black. They're just so easy to apply, and the lash band's really thin, so it kind of conforms to your eye like it should. So now we're gonna work on the face. I'm gonna back up a little bit. And went out and got my, not went out, but looked for and found my Pretty Filter Icy Sherbet Primer by Touch and Soul. And I'm just gonna rub this around my face. I've already moisturized, but I feel like this is gonna add like an extra layer of moisturization, which is nice. So, feels nice. I feel nice and hydrated and cooling. It does have like a nice kind of cooling effect to it. So now, what do I go in with for foundation? I'm gonna use this one. I haven't used it in a while. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. And I'm gonna go wet my sponge. I'm going to apply this all over the face, of course. I have the shade F6. for concealer, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Megalast Incognito. I've been using this and loving it like almost every single day. So I'm just going to apply a little bit under my under eyes. So let's blend this out. Under eyes. I'm just gonna set my whole face now. Why does that look unblended? Anyways, I'm gonna set my full face now and then I will be right back. Alright, so I'm gonna take the palette back out and I'm gonna take these two matte shades and I'm just gonna run them under my under eye real quick. Wow, they are not showing up like at all. Let's try that again. Okay, that's probably as good as I'm gonna get it. So, next step is working on the face, and oh, my bronzer and blush palette is in here. So I'm just gonna go easy today and use my bronzer, blush, and highlight from this palette. So the first thing I'm gonna do is find my contour brush. Okay. So I'm gonna take just the bronzer on the very end. So it's weird because the original butter bronzer and this butter bronzer seem like they're two totally different tones. Like this one is like a warm tone, the other one's like a cool tone, which I really prefer when doing bronzer. Just because I feel like warm tone bronzer tends to like, I don't know if it just like accentuates my imperfections or what, but I'm just not a fan of warm bronzers. That's all I can say about that. So I kind of wish they went with like the original, maybe not. But yeah, if that's what butter bronzer is now, and it is this light of a shade, then I don't know if it'll work for me. I'm gonna have to switch back to like Hulu by Benefit, which is significantly more expensive. So now I'm just going to go in and find a blush brush. Okay. So this is the IT Cosmetics Live Beautifully. Alright, and I'm gonna take the shade in the middle called Beachy Peach. And just slowly pat it on my cheeks. I'm done. So for highlight, I'm gonna use this broken highlighter, and I'm gonna be very careful with it, and just use it to highlight my face. Wow. It still like astounds me every time I see this highlighter applied, because it just seems like oh, it's a highlighter in a drugstore palette, like BFD, but actually it performs really nicely. Like, perfect. Now I'm gonna use a small pencil brush to apply this to the inner corner of my eyes. So I'm just gonna take my brush and dip it in there. And then I'm gonna pat that out a little bit because it came off a little extreme. Same with this side. Oh shit. Alright, so you can't really see my outer corner, my inner corner highlight unless I'm like really far away, but it actually looks really nice. Alright, so that is about it for the face. For lips, I'm just going to use my KAB Beauty Lip Oil, and then I'm going to put some gloss over it. Even though you could probably wear this as like a gloss on its own, I just like to add extra for dramatic purposes. I'm going to use the AOA Studio Glazed High Shine Lip Gloss in the shade Pink Balloon. And I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Set Makeup Extender. Ooh. That covers a big area of your face. Alright, so I know I rushed through the face portion of the video quite a bit, but I want to talk about this palette first of all. Because I mean, we're done with the face. These are how the eyes came out. This eyeliner is so much thicker than this eyeliner, and I tried to even them out, which is always a mistake. But anyways, the W7 Delicious palette, and it is deliciously what's the word? I can't think of the word. But it is obviously a dupe for the Modern Renaissance palette. Would I recommend this palette? Honestly, it's like $6 or $7, and this is one of those purchases I'm gonna say you can skip, only because I've used W7 shadows in the past, and I feel like these ones are like particularly a bad formula. Like, they don't really, it takes a lot of building up for them to even show up, and then on top of that, there's just not a lot of pigmentation. You have to build them up so much, and then they kind of move around on your eye, like I'm already noticing. So I hope it doesn't, you know, look weird in a couple hours. But this is something that I wouldn't even recommend to someone who wants the Modern Renaissance palette. Like, I would just skip this altogether. And I am a fan of W7 palettes. I'm not trying to like bash on them or anything like that. But I call it how I see it. and I don't think that it's a great eyeshadow palette. I pretty much never use it. I've used it one other time, and then I knew that I wanted to use it on my channel as soon as I could, just to kind of, I don't want to say get the word out there, but to get the word out there, because I don't think that these are exceptional palettes. Right, so I realized I was doing this without my lashes being on. I had no mascara on, so I put mascara on my top and bottom lashes. For both, I use the Urban Decay Perversion mascara. This is like probably my favorite. This and Too Faced Better Than Sex are like the only mascaras I ever need in my whole life. So I had to do that real quick because it was bugging the shit out of me. But I have better W7 palettes that perform better. I mean, I don't know much about eyeshadow formulas, to be honest, and I don't know what makes a good eyeshadow formula and what makes a bad eyeshadow formula, but whatever this is, it ain't good, it ain't delicious. I think it's a cute, like, I mean, besides the fact that they ripped this off from another company, which is what W7 does, they make dupes of really popular palettes. So now that I've used it again, I feel like I just reaffirmed to myself that I don't like it. I don't use it, I don't like it, I don't get any sort of use out of it. I think the eye look I created is beautiful, but it took a lot of effort to blend out all those edges and then blend in the brown, and then, you know, I don't feel like there's enough shimmers in that palette to kind of create different eye looks, because I feel like shimmer shades are kind of what make or break your eye look. Like, yeah, your crease shades can be beautiful, your outer V shades can be beautiful, but it changes the whole look that you're going for when you apply a shimmer shade. And so I feel like this went a lot more brown than I expected. I was expecting it to be like pinky, but it is not. So I think I've said enough bad things about this palette. I don't recommend it. The ones that I can recommend are, I like all the ones that they have that are dupes for the Naked palettes. I like the one that's a dupe for the Naked Honey palette. And I believe those are the only 4 that I've tried. But this one, not it in my opinion. So that's just my feelings on that. I'm gonna get into something real quick. I will be right back. Alright, so now that we have our somewhat final thoughts on the palette, this is what we used. It's like, I don't even know what to say about it. I don't want to say anything bad because I like their other palettes, but this one was just like a dud for me. I think I'd prefer to just buy the Modern Renaissance palette. If you really like these shades, I wouldn't go the dupe route, only because, I mean, they're obviously made with much cheaper materials. They're obviously made like as a dupe, so I mean, you're not gonna get the same quality. But I do feel like there are W7 palettes and other dupe palettes out there that perform way better. They're around the same price range as like less than 10 bucks, and I think that that's a much better alternative. So with that, I'm just gonna leave you on this note. If you have this palette and you love it, then awesome, because somebody needs to love it. You know, I don't think all products are bad. I think that they don't work for some people, and that was the case with this and me. So with that being said, I guess that's it. This is the finished look, and with that being said, I am very happy that you chose to watch to the end with me. And if you like this kind of content, oh my god, I can't talk. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.